Are you ready to buy your forever home, but concerned that you might regret the purchase? A lot of people don't realize they've bought the wrong home until years later. Today I'm going to walk through the questions so that you can make sure that you love your house in the next 10, 20, and even 30 years. As a veteran and real estate agent here in Central Texas, I've had the opportunity to help plenty of families move into their forever homes. I've had the opportunity to help plenty of families make the transition from PCSing every couple of years to finding what's going to be their forever home. Whether you just got your 100% VA disability or you're just ready to build the home that you plan to retire in, this video is for you. First things first, you gotta stop shopping for a house and you gotta start shopping for your future. You're not buying for what you're doing today, but you need a plan for the next 20 to 30 years. You've got a few questions you should be asking yourself when you do this. First off is, where do you actually want to retire? Then you've got to look into, are your kids gonna be moving back home? Could you have aging parents maybe? Are you expecting grandkids? More or less, how many people do you plan to have at the house regularly? Also, are you gonna continue working from home? Do you need an office space, or is this pretty much just gonna be a vacation? And then what hobbies are going to take up most of your time? Make sure that you're going to an area that matches those. There's a huge difference between wanting to be out on the lake constantly or wanting to be around sports or just having plenty of space so that nobody bothers you. Once you know what kind of life you're building, then you can start looking for the house that supports it. You hear it all the time, location, 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 and it works for this too. You need to figure out if you're going to be close to your family, close to healthcare, close to community. What is it that you want? Make sure that you're checking out first the town, then the neighborhoods, and then the house. Another few questions to ask are, what do the property taxes look like? How is the future growth in this area? And often overlooked, what's the internet reliability like? Keep in mind if the property has an HOA or deed restrictions as well. You could get a bunch of land, not realize till later the county doesn't allow you to do the family compound you've always wanted, and unfortunately, you might be SOL. Let's take a quick second to talk about if you want to do a custom build or buy something already existing. I know when most people think about doing their forever home, probably the first thing that comes to mind is building custom, but there are pros and cons to both options, so let's go through those. A couple benefits of buying something existing is what you see is what you get. It's really nice if you don't want to go through months and months of decisions. However, you may not get the customizable options like you would in a custom build. However, you're already going to have an established neighborhood. A lot of times you can get a much better price, and you've probably got an easier time reselling it in the future. Meanwhile, if you do custom, you can do everything exactly how you want it. Don't like this wall? Change it. Want a walk-in shower? Make one. Rather have a tub? Do that. You can also add pretty much whatever you want. Most of the time, custom builders are really flexible about things like pools or pickleball courts or whatever you want. Issue is that you're also going to have probably a 12 to 18 month build time, and you're going to have to finance that. So it does end up being quite a bit more expensive. And most of the time what I've seen is that customizations that people make when they do a custom build don't always bring a ton of ROI, so it's gonna make it a lot harder if you do end up having to resell this house. Additionally, just the sheer amount of decisions people make when they do a custom build, they're usually not prepared for, so it can be an incredibly stressful thing, even though the end product is usually exactly what you want. Now here's probably the most important part. Make sure that you are future-proofing your home. Keep in mind that if this does intend to be the forever home, you're not always gonna have the same kind of mobility that you do. Your health is not always gonna be the same. The family may not always look the same. And so you need to make sure that whatever you're doing for this house is something that is going to work for you for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Oftentimes I see people looking for a forever home that's just one story. Maybe a 2-story if it's just for guest rooms or a play area for the grandkids to visit, but I wouldn't put the primary on the top floor if that's something you do intend to stay in for a long time. If you're planning to get something a little bit further out in the country, make sure that you have reliable internet. Make sure you've got reliable utilities, and make sure you have a backup generator and water catchment, anything else that you may need for that kind of living. You really need to make sure that you're planning ahead on these and that you've dotted all the I's and crossed all of the T's, because it is so much more expensive to add something on later than to be able to put it in while you're doing your custom build or right around when you're purchasing a resale home. It's easier to put these things in as bulk options as opposed to onesie-twosies throughout time, because a lot of times what I'll see is somebody will make a change and then in the future they want to make another one, but it conflicts with what they've done before, and now they need to do a much more expensive renovation or end up just selling that house for something that suits their needs a lot better. A few other accessibility features that I would highly consider are homes with wider hallways, wider doorways, few thresholds, and walk-in showers. Keep in mind that there's a good chance that as you age, mobility is going to decrease, especially in areas like this where we've got a lot of retired military veterans. Get it? I'm 33 and my legs already hurt all the time. Can only imagine what it's gonna feel like when I'm 65. Make sure you're spending the money where it matters too. Things like your lot and your floor plan are gonna be some of the two most important decisions that you make. Additionally, ensure that you have quality construction. That's gonna save you a ton of money over the next couple decades. Make sure you have a good living area outdoors. Things like outdoor living spaces, garages, storage, and energy efficiency are also never going out of style. Spend your money there instead of focusing on trendy fixtures or colors, things like that. Remember that this home is gonna be here for 10, 20, 30 years, and so you need to make sure that things that you're doing are evergreen. They're gonna last forever, and it's not just something that is going to ebb and flow with the times. Even if you never plan to move, keep in mind that life changes, health changes, and family changes. You need to make sure that you're keeping the resale value in mind. Make sure that you're accounting for future appreciation, maintenance costs, and the ease of reselling this house if any of those factors do occur. For a lot of veterans, buying a forever home is more than just another real estate transaction. Oftentimes it's the first time in years or even decades that you've gotten to choose where you want to live instead of the Army forcing you to be somewhere. So take your time. Think about more than just today. Think about what you want to build and where you want to be long term. And if you're thinking about making Central Texas your forever home, whether it's a custom build or a resale, my team and I are experienced and ready to help you make that decision.